The wonderful Cristian Guardado!
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
I need everybody to give two people a high five and tell them they smell good. I got you back there, yes. I got you. So many great speeches today. I'm inspired, I really am. And what I think about more than anything is what ignites your drive? What is it that we look to achieve somewhere 5 to 10 years down the line? What does that look like? Can we define what success means to us? I believe that we live in a place where we become bombarded by all the media and our family and peers what success is supposed to mean to us, so much that it's even robbed us of our identity. I believe so many people are searching for some pot of gold at the end of some rainbow that doesn't exist. I want all of us to consider today the possibilities of what can happen when we reshape the idea of what it means to be successful and how we can use the power of mentors to help us get to that place. My very first mentor was a man who led by example. He was my father. He was born in a little town in Mexico called Nochisclan, Zacatecas. And he was the eldest of his brothers and sisters. At the mere age of 17 years old with a 6th grade education, this man embarked to reach for his dream. He left all his brothers and sisters, and when he was traveling, he still supported his mother and father back home. I really am inspired. I'm glad to be today in a place where I can really say I'm reaching for my dreams. This opportunity came abruptly, and I said, yes, I'll take advantage of it. You know why? Because just like Luana said, sometimes we have to step past our fears. We have to step past what we think we're capable of achieving. Because we have to let go of, what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't make it? What are going to people think about me? And I said, you know what? Nah. Because you know what? We all have something that we can share. We all have ideas, beliefs, dreams, experiences that people can benefit from. I believe that to be true. And what I speak so passionately about, mentoring, because I look at our youth today and I see, man, what do these kids need today? What are children? What do they need to hear? What message can they learn from to have a better future, not only for them, but for their children? And I think of leadership. I think of role models. I think of mentors. What is a mentor, you may ask? I believe my simplest definition of a mentor is a person with specialized knowledge who's committed to the success of their mentoree, who's committed to the success of their mentoree. I believe a mentor must fit these criteria. 1, they must lead by example. They must be in the trenches. You can't just talk about a subject without really having those experiences, without being there, without really living what you're talking about too. You've got to be committed. I'm a personal trainer, and I've been doing this for a couple of years. I am blessed to have the opportunity to show that accountability to the people that I work with every day on a day-to-day basis. I specialize in weight loss. Every 4 to 6 weeks, we take measurements. Why? So they can see that they're making progress. More importantly than that, that I'm holding them accountable to what they said they were going to do. 3, I believe that a mentor must have that specialized knowledge that mentoree is looking for. And when I say specialized knowledge, I don't mean you can just go to anybody and say, hey, I want to learn how to be a speaker. Hey, I want to learn how to be a business person. Hey, I want to learn how to do so and so. We must have that specialized person that's in that field that can help us specifically what we need to do. I specialize in weight loss. One of the things that I love doing more than anything is transforming people's lives. Because yes, you can help a person lose 5 to 10 pounds and they might feel better. They might look a little bit better. But we know that when we really get that huge transformation of mental thinking, you can take off 50 to 100 pounds, people's lives change. People's lives change. So many of us really have that desire to just help innately. So when our mentor is really committed to us and has that specialized knowledge, they can help us. They really can. And lastly, we must have access to our mentor. This is a super big one for me. And I say we must have access to our mentor because if I can't get in direct contact with the person that's supposed to be helping me out, how am I ever supposed to get to the next level? If the person that I'm trying to get a hold of is back there behind the scenes, they're going to fall off track. Much like what I do every day on a day-to-day basis. The people that work with me, they need me for support, for accountability, for guidance. So that's why it's so important to have those mentors we can have direct access to. And I believe with having those mentors, we can set that standard for improving not only our knowledge, but improving the knowledge of the people that we're working with. My father, one of the saddest days in my life was when I looked at him. I said, Dad, what did you want to be when you grew up? Anybody in this room ever asked a parent what they wanted to be when they grew up? Raise their hands. And he looks at me and he says, No lo sé, Cristian. I don't know, Christian. Nunca tuve tiempo de pensarlo. I never had time to think about it. Siempre estuve muy ocupado trabajando. I was always too busy working. I was absolutely floored, like I just got punched in the gut. I feel like somebody that I admire, that I respect so much, tell me that he didn't have a dream destination. He didn't have a vision. Because creativity, imagination, play, they were not of high value in our culture. Hard work, manual labor, survival, these were important things that we had in our culture. These were high values. And I'm very comfortable to say today, just being honest, that hard work and survival are not very important cultures in our generation. Just being real. So what does that mean? That means that there's something that we can all improve on, guiding those people who are coming up, who are going to be going and taking care of us when we're older. I believe that our youth, they really are the future. I spend so much time mentoring and becoming that role model that I have some of my mentorees in this room today. Why? Because they saw the vision that I was embedding in them. And they were committed with the help of their parents to continue to seek that guidance. So my question for you is, what is your dream destination? What legacy would you like to leave with 5 to 10 years down the line? What people are you going to share your knowledge with? Your story, your experience, your tools. I believe the student sees their greatness reflected in the eyes of their mentor. The student sees their greatness reflected in the eyes of their mentor. Not too long ago, I had an opportunity, the last thing that was going on in my mind, a humorous speech contest for our very own Toastmasters.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the last thing on my radar, the very last thing on my radar. I've got so much stuff to do. Like we all know, you got your family, you got to provide, you got to do this, you got to do that. It was the last thing that I wanted to do, I'm being honest. Until my mentor saw the vision that I couldn't see. He called me one morning and he said, "Christian, have you entered the humorous speech contest?" "No, I haven't, Louis." "Why not?" "I don't have the time." So he acted as if he didn't hear what I'm saying and persisted again. He said, "Have you entered the speech contest?" This time I internalized what he was saying. I understood what he was saying. "Do you think you're funny?" "Yes." "I know you think you're funny." "Enter the contest." All right, I'll do it. Another long pause. "I want an outline done tomorrow. Call me by 6 p.m. Click. 2 weeks later, I was at that very Kaiser parking garage just across the street from here for 2.5 hours, rehearsing after line after line. "No, do it again. Da-da-da-da-da. No, do it again. I did it 10 times. Do it again." But I'll tell you what, I went to that speech contest and I won. And then I went to the next level and I won again. And finally, for the third round, I win. And I gave everything I had. Effort is not something that I can say that, it's not something that there was a lack of. I received second place. And I'll tell you what, that was one of the most humbling experiences for me. Because I can truly stand up here today and tell you, I did not lose because of a lack of effort. Sometimes our opponents or the people that we're going up against are just flat out better, more experienced. But you know what? That can't stop us from achieving what it is that we want to do. My mentor saw something. He planted that seed in me to believe and reach for my dreams and reach for opportunities that I could not see. I believe that we have so much of a responsibility to pass off that knowledge, to pass it forward. And you know what? If there's anything that I leave you with today, is that the student sees their greatness reflected in the eyes of their mentor. I have a question for you today. What legacy are you going to leave from the information that you pass down? Does anybody have a favorite self-development book? Raise your hands. Self-development book. I know you guys read. Come on. You guys read. Try to tell me that you don't read. Okay? Favorite self-development book.
Maximum Achievement, Brian Tracy.
Favorite self-development book.
Oh, that's a great one.
Anybody else?
Sis, I didn't hear what you said.
Battlefield of the Mind, Joyce Myers.
Oh.
Think of all those wonderful jewels that we've taken from all these wonderful books. Now think of what a disservice it would have been to you and all the hundreds of other people that decided to not write that book, that decided to not share what they know. What a disservice it would have truly been. And we all have that opportunity. We all have that opportunity to share what we have. I believe that our youth today are being mentored by Justin Bieber's, Kanye West, and all these other mentors they see on the TV, the sports, the media, because they have replaced the mentors at home, their fathers. I speak to so many teenagers and to young high school students, and what's the common denominator? the boys or the girls that are being most disruptive in class, that are failing or doing poorly academically, that are in trouble with the law, come from homes where their fathers or mentors were not present. The scripture says what the Father does, the Son does also. So we must be able to step into that position of leadership and really guide them the whole way. Really guide them the whole way. Committed to their success, being able to guide them and be able to access them whenever they need to, being able to really feel like this person is invested in me, not just because they're interested about it or wanted to help me, but just really care deeply. So today, I stand among you all and I say, if there was one last thing that I did, one very last thing, the Martin Luther King last speech delivered in Memphis the night before he was assassinated. He said, I fear no man. I have seen the promised land. I don't know what will happen to me now. I don't know what will happen to me now. But I've seen over the fence. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I have fulfilled what I came here to do. I fulfilled what I came here to do. That night, King paid the ultimate sacrifice. He was assassinated. But do you hear what he was saying? Do you hear what he was saying? What King was saying was, look, I've been the GPS. I've been the navigator for the people that are in this. You don't need me anymore. You don't need me anymore. Why? Because I can see over the hill. The lights are down there. We're just a couple of 100 yards away. You got this. You're going to get there. And you know what? We all have that opportunity to get there and be that navigator, that GPS for all those people that were mentored and were mentorees to us. They got this. We must get through this. We must fulfill our mission. We must be that light which will illuminate the world for generations and generations to come. So my question for you today is, what legacy will the people who mentored you leave with?